Today on the program, soon on screen tells about the criminal thriller London Has Fallen. Concert of great singer Roza Rymbaeva took place in Almaty. You can see it in the art event program. Within the program, on the front line, we'll tell you about the activities of the largest museum in the country, the Central State Museum of Kazakhstan. A hero of our program, Master has it, Asel Kalimbekova. The Temari master will tell about her unusual craft. London Has Fallen, a crime thriller, comes soon on the big screen. The story picks up in London, where the British Prime Minister has died under mysterious circumstances, and his funeral is a must-attend event for leaders of the Western world. What starts out as the most protected event on Earth turns into a deadly plot to kill the world's most powerful leaders and unleash a terrifying vision of the future. The only hope of stopping it rests on the shoulders of the U.S. President, his formidable Secret Service lead agent, and a British MI6 agent. The main actors of the movie are Gerard Butler, Aaron Eckhart, and Morgan Freeman. There was a concert of the great and honored singer of Kazakhstan, Roza Rymbaeva. The concert was held with the motto, 40 years on the stage. It was at this stage in the Palace of the Republic when the 19-year-old aspiring singer performed her first song. Today, on her solo anniversary concert, gathered many admirers, colleagues, and friends. She is very popular and a favorite singer of everybody who glories her country. She is loved in the CIS and abroad as well. Personally, I have a warm and tremulous attitude for her. Roza Rymbaeva is one of the greatest, talented, and leading musicians whom we should admire. Roza Rymbaeva conquered the Soviet Union when she was 18. Currently, she is the golden voice of Kazakhstan, and people call her the singing nightingale of Central Asia. Constantly, her powerful and strong lyric soprano voice still wins the hearts of audiences around the world. Roza Rymbaeva is always at the top.
I am very glad, as I know her already 40 years. And throughout this time, she surprises me and I admire her.
This person with a huge heart completely gives herself to work. I consider myself a happy person, as I was born in the same country where Roza Rymbaeva was born. The Central National Museum of Kazakhstan is one of the oldest and largest museums, not only in our country, but also the whole Central Asian region. And here, one of the most recognizable artifacts in the world is kept, what became a symbol of our country, the Golden Man. Our film crew has visited the museum to talk about complex and multifaceted work of the museum. There are about 200 years of the history of our museum. The foundation of the museum was a military school in Orenburg. The founder is registered as Vladimir Dal, a creator of the famous Dictionary of the Russian language. But after the revolution, when the capital of Kazakhstan from Orenburg moved first to Kizil Orda, then to Almaty, the museum was moved here. The 44th museum received the status of the Central State Museum, and it still works today. There are 7 rooms which are very informative and with rich expositions that attract the attention of many visitors. Subsequently, the fund of our museum is about 300,000 rarities, artifacts about the history and culture of Kazakhstan. Currently, building of the museum was constructed in 1985. It is considered one of the greatest architectural buildings in the whole of Central Asian region. The total area of the museum, more than 20,000 square meters. There are unique exhibits reflecting cultural traditions and history of Kazakhstan among the exhibits from ancient times till present, and a great contribution to the replenishment of the museum's collection made well-known figures of the Kazakh culture, art, and literature. Nowadays, about 250 people participated in the museum work. The museum is a huge society. Here the main museum employees are working and supporting service employees, also technical services employees. The Central National Museum is the most visited museum in the country. There are 130,000 people who visit the museum every year. In 2005, the museum received a status of a scientific research organization. Constantly, this museum staff has been issued more than 30 books on medieval history of Kazakhstan. All of them were highly appreciated by experts not only in the country, but from abroad as well. Currently, the museum cooperates with state and private museums of the United Kingdom, Russia, Japan, Korea, Italy, France, Germany, and the United States. There were over 20 exhibitions abroad. Our museum is one of the ancient ones where we kept all years the most valuable materials of historical importance, starting with the simplest objects of people that they used in ancient times. We keep at the museum objects which are ranging from ancient times till present. Can you imagine how necessary it was to invest time and work to collect these artifacts? Each of them are rarity, historical material which has an enormous information about era and history. Subsequently, we study our culture and the importance of this museum. The first museum of Kazakhstan, which has been already part of the history of the Kazakh culture and of a great significance for our society and country as well. Temari is a traditional Japanese technique of embroidery on the balls which is known since the 8th century. A hero of our program master has it, Asel Kalimbekova, a Temari master, will tell about her unusual craft. When I first saw Temari, I was really impressed. These embroidered balls seemed so magical to me. Constantly, they were called as Japanese princess balls. I admired them with their combination of bright colors, intricate patterns, and artful bundle of threads. I wanted to understand how people managed to make such complicated patterns. I did not understand what kind of technique had been used at that moment. How artisan embroidered these balls as they looked alive. I wanted to hold them in my hand and touch them, as they seemed warm and attractive. It is a very ancient art which came from several centuries ago. In the 8th century, from China, balls were brought to Japan and were called Temari, namely footballs. After some time, these balls were transformed into hand swords, and they became known as Temari. As we know, traditionally, an embroidering of each ball starts with a selection of structure. An old kimono was cut with strips and rolled up into a ball and wrapped thread earlier in Japan. In the modern world, the tradition has changed a little, as currently people use, for example, a rubber ball or a plastic foam ball. Subsequently, a ball wrapped with cotton thread of different colors is what you like, and after it will be marked. Marking is also made with colored threads. If it will be done a difficult marking, it can be used as a simple thread. If you want your Temari to be more memorable and look wealthy, you can use a metallized yarn of different colors, such as gold or silver. As originally, Temari is a symbol of a rich and happy life. After that, pins are sticked, depending on the pattern, and these pins in the structure starts a sewn pattern. The patterns are always different depending on the choice of colors. Therefore, we can say that none of the Temari is not repeated, even one pattern, as each master makes them in their own way and with soul. An easy pattern takes from one night to several days. If the embroidery pattern is more difficult, they will take from a week till a month. Yet the result of the work is worth it. Temari is also an original gift for New Year, and you can decorate your Christmas tree or to give it to friends and family with a wish of happiness for the new year.